Hi Flosstube, it's Jeannie again, and I have an extra for you. And I thought I'd try to film it. This may never see the light of day on YouTube, but I thought I would try to film it. I'm getting ready to go to a little craft gathering at one of my friend's house this afternoon, and I'm taking my Bucilla stocking, and that's mostly what I plan to work on because I think that will be easier to work on than my cross stitch project. I may go ahead and take my bookmark too, because that's, like I said, suitable. In my last video I said is suitable for visiting. But I'm also, one of the things I wanted to do, and I'm going to do it now and probably take this project with me, simply because if the mood hits me, I'd like to be able to work on it. But I'm kind of to that point. I don't know if you guys get to the point when you're in kind of the middle of a project where everything is just like you have loose thread, everything's kind of tangled. I mean, it's just kind of a mess. And so I feel like I need to sort of reset this kit, this project kit, so that I can work on it more efficiently. So I thought maybe we do that together today. So this is my Happily Ever After, and this is my daughter's wedding piece that I'm trying to get done by Christmas. Don't know if it's going to happen because I have some pretty lofty goals, but let me pull this out. So I'm trying not to show the pattern, but I have, and I'm sorry, my cat's gonna throw himself against the door. But I have, so in my Amazon project bag, I have the kit, and what I've got here is, of course, I've got the cover page, but then I did make a working copy, although I haven't really used it because at the time I did not have access to a color printer or a color copier, and I was lazy. I didn't take it to like Home Depot or somewhere. I was just at work, and a lot of the symbols are, in fact, I can probably show you that. The symbols, where are they? Let's find them. Here they are. So you can see the symbols are in color. So a lot of them are in color. They're either blue or pink or whatever, or black. And, you know, a grayscale copy doesn't help you very much with that. So I find myself just using the regular pattern. I haven't really used my working copy. So I'm going to go ahead and just take that out of my kit here. So I'm going to grab that, those things out, and take those out of my kit because they're just taking up space, and it confuses me when I need to pull out the regular pattern. Now, here is my floss, and you can see this is a disaster. I have little pieces of, little orts that are, well, they're not even really orts. They're long enough to do a few stitches, and so I've been kind of saving them. I'm trying to do really, be really frugal with my floss because I am doing this project. I swapped out the fabric and I'm doing it on a higher count, or would that be a lower count? I'm not sure. It's charted for 18 count Ada. I'm doing it on 28 count Lugana. So I'm trying, and there are several places in this pattern that have 3 stitches of that color and 2 stitches of this color. So I'm trying to save every little piece that I could use for some of these ninja stitches that are in some of these flowers and stuff. So I'm trying to be really frugal. I did buy a second kit in case I ran out of floss, but it's, like I said, I'm hoping not to have to open it, but we'll see. We'll see, because I don't, and again, this is a dimensions kit, but you can see what I've done here is I went ahead and did the method. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at this total bird's nest here, but or rat's nest, I don't know what you call it, but I've done the method where you take their organizer and you punch holes, and then but I've only been cutting the yard-long threads off the original side of the card when I'm using that color. And I'm just finding that to be really, like I said, I've got like a rat's nest. So I want to go ahead and cut the rest of these long strands off. I'm probably going to cut them in half, simply because like I said, there just isn't a time so far. There's not been a time in this pattern where I've needed more than a 1/4 yard of floss. So so that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, the cut pieces are in the punched holes that I did, and then I still have a lot of the long pieces, and I'm just finding this really tedious to work with because it keeps getting into tangles, and the short strands get tangled with the long strands, and so on and so forth. So I thought I would work on that and get all these long strands on this side cut and into the holes on the other side, and then, like I said, see if I can sort of organize my loose threads. I haven't really figured out a really good way to do these little short ones. So I don't know if I'll loop them on or not. One of the things I do find, though, with Dimensions floss, it is cotton floss, but in my opinion, it's not as good quality as DMC or some of the other cotton flosses, Anchor, that kind of thing. So I have not been real successful. I know when people do this, they cut it and they do this loop method, that they will take their needle from here and just pull out a strand. I have not found that helpful with Dimensions kits, because it's almost like curling ribbon. Like if you put too much stress on it, then it gets, in my experience, it gets coily and then it knots while you're stitching. So so I haven't been real successful with that, but I do like working with the shorter, cutting these ones off and using the shorter strands. So I thought we would do that together today. And so I just have I don't have too many long strands left, but I thought I would go ahead and do that. So I'm going to, like I said, cut, and these strands I think are about a yard. And I'm going to go ahead, not only cut them, but I'm going to cut them in half again, because, like I said, there just aren't big blocks of stitching where I would need even like a half yard. I can usually use a 1/4 yard and get all the stitches in. So I'm going to snip it like that. This might be making many of you just go, Jeannie, don't do that. But with this, and I do that. I take that on a kit by kit basis. It's not always, I don't always do that when I'm doing something where there's a lot of block stitching, but I hate to waste thread when I have like like I said, a usable piece left. But I've only had to do 5 or 6 stitches with like a whole yard of floss. And I usually will do the loop method. So, I will put the, let's see here. Let's see, this is already kind of a mess because I've got some short ones on here. So ideally I should probably take this off and put them all together. That's probably what I should do. So, but yeah, so I'm going to do that because I just think it will be a little bit more user-friendly. I think I mentioned before that I find that this kit is, it is very, now where's my hole? It's very time-consuming. Anyway, oh my gosh, you guys, where's the hole for that? Orange. I took it off. Oh, this is going to be is it this color? No. It's not that color. It's not that color. That's black. Must be this one. Doesn't look right though. I think it's down here where I've got this little mess. So I'm going to go ahead and take these little strands off. Put those in my little semi-ort pile. And then thread these through. So, so yeah, so that is my plan to make this thread a little bit more user-friendly, and I find that for some of my long-term projects, I need to do this. If I'm actively working on it, I need to do this every few months so that I can, work more efficiently. And so, yeah, so I'm not going to make you watch me do that. I will do that off camera. But then I was just going to look in here and see what else I've got. Here is my project, and I have been keeping it in the Q-snap. I just loosen the Q-snap when I'm not working on it, and then I increase the tension when I'm actually stitching. And this project, I've been working with 3 needles, and I'm finding that really helpful because these browns, there's like 3 colors of brown in all of the brown. That's by far the biggest number of color crosses in this piece. And so it was taking me forever to keep rethreading one needle. So I've got 3 needles going, and I probably will keep the dark brown and the medium brown on there because I think I'm going to need to use those again. The dark brown, as you can see my needles threaded with it, is also what you do the back stitch with. And so my plan with this, as soon as I finish all the colors in these 3 flowers, then I am going to do the back stitch sort of over to this part. And then I'll probably need to move the Q-snap. I probably am going to have to do, I don't know if the Q-snap's going to fit on, if I'm going to get the whole H on there or not, but I'm going to try. But that's my plan. I'm going to go ahead and get this all reorganized and kind of tidied up so that the next time I work on it, it's a little bit easier to handle. I hope that's helpful for some of you, or I wonder, leave me a note, leave me a comment. Oh, here's another loose thread. Leave me a comment if you find that you need to reset your kits halfway through a project or a quarter of the way through, and I would love to know if you have any tips for me on how you do that and what you find efficient. So thanks for watching. I hope this wasn't too boring. Well, I guess we'll see if I post it, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.